Vegas, a Beasley Media Group station.
KDWN News Time, 7 o'clock. Good morning. I'm John Schaefer with this hour's top stories. A man was critically injured last night after being hit by a car near Boulder Highway and Russell. According to Metro Police, the pedestrian was jaywalking across Boulder Highway at the time of the accident. He was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Nevada utility regulators are set to rule that a Las Vegas tech company can't sever ties with the main power supplier in the state, NV Energy. A draft ruling posted by the Nevada Public Utilities Commission ahead of a vote today suggests the three-member panel will ban Switch from going it alone to produce and buy power. The decision likely to have a ripple effect because several big Las Vegas Strip casino companies have also applied to withdraw from the public energy grid. A white police officer seen on video pushing a black girl to the ground at a North Texas pool party has resigned from the police force.
The actions of Case Bolt, as seen on the video of the disturbance at the community pool, are indefensible.
McKinney's police chief Greg Conley says Officer Eric Casebolt was out of control when he arrived at the scene. The video also shows Casebolt pointing his gun at other black teens. It's going to cost you more to fill up at the gas pump. In fact, more than almost anywhere else in the U.S. Nevada has the fourth highest gas prices in the country. According to AAA, prices are up by 4 cents a gallon from last month. Here in Nevada, the average price is $3.26 a gallon. The national average for a gallon of gas is $2.75. News brought to you by Kubota. At Kubota, value means getting more than you expected for less than you thought. And the value just got better. See your Kubota dealer today for incredible finance offers and cash instant rebates on L-Series compact tractors and the implements you need to get the job done. That's value. That's Kubota. KDWN News Time coming up on 7:02. Just checking again live with John Sanchez at Sanchez Wealth Management. See who's up, who's down at this hour of the morning. Good morning, John.
Good morning, John. Well, definitely the major market indexes are on the upside this morning. We're off to a nice start. 143-point gain on the Dow at 17,907 as we wrap up the first half hour of the trading session. That's a 0.81% gain. Trade level 17,907. NASDAQ 27-point gain, 0.54% at 5,041. S&P 500 higher by 15 points. 2,094 is our trade level there, a 0.68% increase. Good strength in the Eurozone, as I mentioned last report. That's the major catalyst so far this morning. Did see a big spike up in bond yields once again, but not enough to scare investors. Let's get to our upgrades and downgrades. Frontier Communication rising 0.25% on the upgrade, $4.97 price level. Lululemon upgraded but down $2.22 to $66.05. Hovenian Enterprises upgraded but down 2 cents to $2.84. Dollar General higher by 0.90%, 68-cent rise to $76.60. The big trucker JB Hunt higher by $1.23 at $86.08. And the final upgrade, Colgate-Palmolive, a $1.09 increase at $67.12. Downgrades, we have Goodyear Tire and Rubber, but the stock's positive by 23 cents to $31.73. H&R Block downgraded this morning, losing 2.58% to $31.13 a share. And Legg Mason declining 20 cents on the downgrade at $53.57. Dow's up 143, NASDAQ gaining 26, the S&P 500 higher by 14. I'll be back in 30 minutes for our local stocks from the office of Sanchez Wealth Management. I'm John Sanchez for Newstalk 720 KDWN.
Thank you, John. The market report brought to you by Sahara Coins and Precious Metals. With the largest selection of gold and silver bullion, coins, and precious metals, visit Sahara Coins online at saharacoins.com or in their store at Sahara in Tenaya. 7:03. Let's get another look at the roads for your morning commute from Mitch Kelly in the KDON 1 Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center.
Very quiet commute it has been so far. No freeway accidents, although now we're just learning of 115 southbound before Sahara. That's going to have a right lane block. So just as we were saying, all is quiet. Things are starting to get a bit rough now on 15 southbound. Just about the worst spot for a wreck there. That's 15 southbound before Sahara. One of the right lanes blocked. That's leading to a very slow merge from 95 onto 15 southbound. Quiet to this point on both 215 and Summerlin Parkway. No serious surface street accidents to report. From the KDON 1 Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center, Mitch Kelly, News Talk 720, KDWN.
I'm News 3 meteorologist Jerry Brown. A mix of sun and clouds today. Still a bit humid with afternoon highs in the low to mid-90s. Turning breezy later this afternoon with a 20% chance of thunderstorms. News 3, your weather authority. Weather updates throughout the day.
Mostly cloudy, 73 in Las Vegas. Your next update at 7:30 or when news breaks. I'm John Schaefer, News Talk 720 KDWN.
Join Dave and Chad weekday mornings from 8 to 10 on Live in Las Vegas.
Do the things inside of our body wish to kill us? No, of course not, because if they did, you die too. True. But it happens, okay? So do we have a part to play in global warming? I'm sure there is some part to play, but is climate change more or less just something that was going to happen anyways? And the answer is yes.
Don't kill the host. That's a double entendre.
Indeed. All right.
On News Talk 720 KDWN.
Dollar Loan Center is once again making history. You asked for it, and we listened. You already know that we have the best deal in town when it comes to getting a short-term signature loan up to $2,500. Dollar Loan Center is now your go-to spot for auto title loans. As always, we lend more and charge less, way less. Get 80% of your vehicle's value or up to $10,000. We guarantee the best rate. Stop with the hype already and come to your trusted community short-term lender for over 15 years. Dollar Loan Center. Stop by, call 702-364-LOAN or check us out online at don'tbebroke.com. Call 702-364-LOAN today.
Licensed by Nevada Financial Institutions Division. Customer must meet the normal loan qualifications. To review loan qualifications, visit us at don'tbebroke.com. Certain limitations may apply. Loans are subject to approval.
Do you know someone who's affected by a disability? Whether it's a spinal cord injury, cerebral palsy, multiple sclerosis, ALS, stroke, or any other neurological disorder that may have caused paralysis, you need to check out Project Walk. Project Walk is the world leader in activity-based recovery. Visit them in Las Vegas at 365 Pilot Road or call 702-834-6600. For more information on how Project Walk can help you, go to projectwalk.com. You can also sponsor a client through the foundation at projectwalkrecoveryfoundation.com.
Hey, Dave and Chad here from Live in Las Vegas to tell you about our friends at Sahara Coins. The only place we shop for gold and silver is at Sahara Coins and Precious Metals on the corner of Sahara and Tenaya.
Now, Dave, as you know, I've been shopping at Sahara Coins since '07, and I'll never go anywhere else.
Neither will I. What started as a hobby for my son and I has turned into a true passion and a lesson in integrity, honesty, and fair dealing.
Visit Sahara Coins online at saharacoins.com or in the store at Sahara and Tenaya.
Hey guys, KDWN's John Schaefer here, and I was doing a little research for the news this week, and I came across an article that said that ED is common among men over 40, but that many don't seek treatment. In fact, the Cleveland Clinic reports that over 50% of men who are 40 and older who are experiencing problems with ED are not seeking treatment for it. That's where New Mill Medical comes in. New Mill Medical is the expert in men's sexual health. Guys, I get it. There are some things you just aren't comfortable talking about, so I need to write this number down, 702-505-4414. Call New Mill Medical and set up an appointment. They have a 98% success rate, and if you don't see a guaranteed response on your first visit, then your visit is free. Guys, New Mill Medical can also help you get more energy and lose weight. Let's be honest, if you're over the age of 40 like I am, your testosterone levels are probably not where they should be, but New Mill Medical can help. Go see a medical specialist who can help you with your specific problems, whether it's energy, weight loss, or help in the bedroom. Call New Mill Medical, 702-505-4414, and set up that appointment today.
And now, live from beautiful and exciting Las Vegas, one of the most influential talk show hosts in America, radio icon Alan Stock.
And a good morning. Great to have you with us on this Wednesday morning. Hope you'll join me this afternoon. I'll be out at the Metro Chamber of Commerce Business Expo out at Cashman Center. I'll be out there from 2 to 5. Please come by and say hi. Great opportunity to be able to network with other business people in the area. All right, the future of transportation solutions on the Las Vegas Strip is what we're going to be talking about, and what could be in store if tourism corridor gridlock problems are not addressed, and what could be done to address some of these problems. Joining me here in the studio right now, Jeremy Aguero. He is the economist with Applied Analysis, Tina Quigley, the general manager of RTC, and Greg Gilbert, the general counsel for RTC. So thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you. Appreciate your coming here. All right, obviously there's two big articles that came out in the RJ talking about this. One talking about initial discussion and then a follow-up to some of the reactions that people had. And one of the big things that came out of this was the fact that we're expecting huge increases in tourism, thank God, coming up in the next 10, 20 years with the arena and some of the big resort being built where the Stardust used to be. A lot of those things are happening, but we've got to make sure that the Strip will accommodate the traffic. We don't want gridlock. We want tourists, as you said, Tina, to me, have a good experience here, which we do. So one idea was maybe we'll build a subway. And I thought to myself, wait a minute. we have a beautiful strip,
sure,
and they go down beneath, and to see a bunch of black walls instead of the beautiful strip and the lights at night didn't make sense to me. But tell me, you guys got this going together. Tell me what is happening, and where we're going to go. We're going to talk about some of the alternatives here.
Let me kind of back up and just tell you how these recommendations came to be. It was about 2 years ago that Rossi Rollencotter from the LVCVA pulled a group of us together. It was a group that actually had never truly sat down together to talk about transit or transportation, and yet we were all responsible to some extent for that role in Southern Nevada. So he pulled together the RTC, the monorail, the taxi cabs, shuttle bus operators, and then convention organizers, the resorts themselves, the Metro Chamber, the police department, the airport. And he sat us all down and he said, hey guys, listen, if we're going to stay globally competitive as a convention destination, we have to start talking about not just what happens within the walls of the resorts or within the convention center itself. We've got to start focusing on the experience as a whole, because in the end, that's what we sell. We sell an experience.
Absolutely.
So for the very first time, I'm in a room with taxi cabs and with monorail and with everybody and the resorts to talk about what are we going to do. And he was very clear with us. He said, this isn't about you. This isn't about your business. This is about us as a community and staying competitive as we move forward. So we recognized early on that we were going to need to put a lot of time and energy into having this conversation. Mm-hmm. And there have been, and will probably continue to be some tense moments every now and then. I mean, we started out being a very quiet group. We didn't, everybody not really sure about each other's roles, and as we've met over the last 2 years, the conversations have gotten a lot more engaged and enthusiastic. And in the end, we came up with recommendations that everybody in that room felt comfortable continuing to discuss.
And that was the subway, or just the idea of some means of rapid transit through?
In the end, the big lift. Now, there are short-term recommendations, there are mid-term recommendations. There's a whole package of recommendations that work synergistically together. But yes, the big heavy lift, the big discussion about underground light rail, and I'll clarify, it's not subway, it's light rail. And the difference being, subway is a very heavy rail with that third rail. When it is above ground, it needs to be barricaded off for public safety reasons. Light rail is at surface grade and doesn't need that barricade. It's just a lighter form. So the depressed light rail, the underground light rail, is something that collectively as a whole was a conversation that people were comfortable moving forward with.
So the bottom line is, what we need to do is we have to have some means of transportation down the strip. Hopefully, by the way, as we just discussed this will go all the way to downtown.
Correct.
And be able to connect the whole corridor, and even include McCarran as well, by some means. It's going to cost a lot of money, Jeremy Aguero. We're going to have to realize that we're going to have to pay for this some way, right?
Well, look, I don't think there's any doubt about that. We're not going to build it for free. But what we were talking about kind of before we went on air, I think, is what's particularly important here. What is the cost of doing nothing? Right? I mean, right now we're among the fastest growing metropolitan areas in the United States. That corridor employs more people, generates more taxes, generates more economic output. It is our economy, whether we like it or not. We remain among the least diversified economies in the United States. And if we think we're going to add another 10 million visitors, we think we're going to add another million people, and we're not going to essentially stop the economy without taking a really hard look at how we move goods, services, employees, visitors, all of those type of things, the cost of doing nothing is going to be pretty expensive as well.
I think you are 100% correct. And as much as I am a fiscal tightwad and don't like to spend money, I recognize that if we don't, you're correct, Jeremy. We're going to wind up, we're going to have gridlock, and people are not going to be coming here for the good experience that Tina, you said we want them to have. They come for the total experience, and we want it to be great. And this is a huge, huge part of it. We're going to continue our discussion in a moment, and I'm going to give you what my idea is, because it's a creative idea, not just because I thought of it, because other people thought of it elsewhere.
Sure.
But I think that we could think about it at least, and maybe give it some logical consideration. You want to join it in 257 KDWN 257-5396. Right now I want to head over to Mitch Kelly in the KDON, One Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center. He's also taking a look at traffic for us this morning.
I am in at 714, looking at big delays on 15 southbound due to a crash between Charleston and Sahara. The right lane was blocked for a time, but NHP's got that accident moved off to the right shoulder. Still, the delays stretch back to Washington on 15 southbound. Wreck also reported 15 northbound at Washington. We're not seeing any delays in that area. 95 looks okay through the Spaghetti Bowl. If you're jumping into that mess on 15 southbound, you know you're going to be on those transition ramps for a while. Uneventful on 215 and Summerlin Parkway, and no serious surface street crashes to contend with. Your next update's at 7:30, and for the Cato on One Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center, it's Mitch Kelly at News Talk 720 KDWN.
Yeah, when it comes to carpet cleaning, you have a lot of choices. All the other companies in the world, except Zerorez, use detergents, chemicals, or soaps. They try to get all the dirt out. They wind up leaving those chemicals, detergents, and soaps in your carpet, though, along with some of the dirt. Why? Because their water is not empowered to be able to get all that stuff out. Now, Zerorez has gone through a different type of a process. They use an empowered water technology. Why don't the other people use it? Because Zerorez is smart. They patented the process. And when they get done cleaning your carpets, they will not only get the dirt out, they'll get the detergents, chemicals, and soaps that other people left in. I know. We've tried other people years ago and would never use anyone but Zerorez right now. This empowered water technology means no residue. Carpets stay cleaner longer, so you clean less often, you save money. You want to save money right now? Call 567-0016. Mention my name, Alan Stock. Tell them you want the Kadon special. You get your carpets pre-treated, clean, and sanitized for only $29 per room. And because you mentioned my name, you get an additional 20% off your cleaning. That's a great deal, right? An amazing deal. But you have to do it now because it's a limited time offer. Minimums do apply. And you've got to call right now. 567-0016. Mention my name, Alan Stock, to take advantage of the special 567-0016. Or go to ZerorezLasVegas.com. But remember this, Zerorez, spell it backwards or forwards, it still spells the same. Zerorez.
Are you tired of paying NV Energy? Do you want to save money? Do you want to save the environment? This is Reed Hamilton with Hamilton Solar. Now is the best time ever to go solar and save money. There is a 30% federal tax credit and cash rebates from NV Energy. But please listen to me now. The value of the cash rebate is about to be cut in half, and the ability to participate in NV Energy's solar net metering program will likely end soon. If you have ever thought about going solar, don't wait. Contact Hamilton Solar today at 660-9300. Find out how solar will save you money. Take control of your power bill by switching to solar and start saving money today. Hamilton Solar, a local family-owned business, has many financing options so you can take advantage of the 30% tax credit and cash rebates. You heard me loud and clear. Cash rebates and other incentives are being drastically reduced. Contact Hamilton Solar today at 660-9300. That's 660-9300 or HamiltonSolarUSA.com.
Hamilton Solar. Both sides agree.
License number 73463.
Hey, Las Vegas, it's Jerry Doyle. It's getting hot out there, and with so many ads for AC companies, I want to tell you why you should call Gold Medal Service at 1-800-COOL-DOWN. Your air conditioning is going to run about 1,737 hours on average this summer. That's almost as many hours as you work in a year. With that being said, Gold Medal Service is offering to its K-Don and Jerry Doyle listeners a $79 maintenance checkup. Now, replacing a $10 part today could save you thousands of dollars tomorrow. And owner Jonathan, he trains his highly skilled, polite, and professional technicians to always try and fix the problems before suggesting replacement. But when a new unit's necessary, they carry high-quality American Standard units. And upgrading an inefficient unit can save you up to 60% in energy cost. Gold Medal Service will come out, clean, and check your system now before it shuts down when it hits 115 degrees this summer. Your AC is designed to last 15, 20 years or more with basic maintenance, so call Gold Medal Service at 1-800-COOL-DOWN and schedule your $79 Gold Medal Service special today.
Meet, greet, and do business at Business Expo on Wednesday, June 10th at Cashman Center. Business Expo, the Metro Chamber's largest business building event of the year, features 150 exhibit booths, new ways to grow your company, valuable networking opportunities, and food samples from popular eateries. Tickets are just $10. Business Expo, June 10th, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. For tickets, go to lvchamber.com. Business Expo. Don't miss it.
The answers to many of our nation's problems lie in the way we use our rules. It's time to take a look at things from a rural perspective. Tune in to Rural Nevada Today Show with me, Peter Lykopoulos, every Saturday morning from 6 to 7 a.m. That's Rural Nevada Today with me, Peter Lykopoulos, every Saturday morning on KDWN.
If you've been hurt, knock me is the word. Call 702-INJURED. If you've been hurt, call knock me first. Call 702-INJURED.
719 at News Talk 720 KDWN. I'm Alan Stock, and I want to thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday morning. Right now, let's give away a $25 gift card to Pot Liquor at Town Square. It's out of our Cal Air Cooling and Heating Prize closet. So a $25 gift card to Pot Liquor at Town Square, yours. If you're caller number 3 at 257-KDWN, caller 3 at 257-5396. And good luck to caller 3 from News Talk 720 KDWN. We're talking about the Strip, transportation, the Strip, future of transportation solutions. And we've assembled a great panel here. Jeremy Aguero, economist with Applied Analysis, Tina Quigley, the general manager of RTC, and Greg Gilbert, the general counsel for RTC. And I appreciate you all being here.
Thank you.
When the monorail went up, I was very confused because it was a little slice from Sahara to the MGM, and it was on the rear end side of the east part of the Strip. So you got to see all the garbage cans and stuff like that from all the resorts. So there's garbage over there and stuff like that. Never made sense to me, not at all. Especially because then it just turned around the MGM and went right back to Sahara. So I'm thinking to myself, why do they do it this way? And a lot of people have a lot of different reasons and conspiracies and a lot of things going on. But with this idea, thinking about what we need to do in the Strip, and we need to do something. I want to take a cue from it's not me. It's from Disneyland. It's from Disneyland, and it's a monorail that would go from the McCarran Airport out to the most southern part of the Strip, and then all the way down the Strip to downtown. Now, the monorail would have to be elevated because you still want the cars to be able to navigate below, and it could stop at every major intersection: Trop, Flamingo, all of them. All right, Spring Mountain, everything. And my hunch is that if we did something like that, not only would we be able to effectuate transportation a lot more easily than we might think, but people would have a great view of the Strip instead of a subway below. And I think people would pay just to go on it as a ride. We used to call it the old Disneyland days an e-ticket ride. That, oh, wow, it's just so cool to do. At lights at night on the Strip, people would do it just for a ride as well as transportation. I know it involves money, but everything's involved money, so forget that. And I know that it's going to be involved tearing apart of the Strip. Well, forget that, because no matter what you do, you're going to tear apart of the Strip some way or another. But at least if we had something like that so people could see what's going on, it becomes a tourist attraction instead of a detraction. You're waiting for my idea. That's my idea.
I love your idea. And certainly there's a lot of conversation about above ground. With that comes a lot of conversation about the view shed of Las Vegas Boulevard. And I'm actually going to ask Greg to address it. Greg met
What did you mean view shed? Explain.
The visual experience of protecting the existing experience, the existing view.
I think you really put your finger on one of the biggest issues in this whole discussion, which is how do you make sure to preserve the scenery and the experience that people have when they come to Las Vegas?
I have an answer for that, and the answer is that Las Vegas is unlike any other town, and we are a constantly changing town. The view of the Strip, the skyline of the Strip today, very different than it was when I first came here, with City Center being added, with the Trump Towers being added, with Wynn and Adelson adding all their big stuff up there, the wheel that's gone up. I mean, so we're in a constantly evolving town, an evolving Strip, an evolving experience. So, I mean, how would it impact anything negatively?
I think one of the things that we as a community are starting to realize is that people come here for that Strip experience, to drive on that Strip, to walk on the Strip, to visit it from that vantage point. When you mix in things like the challenge of business interruption and ripping up the Strip to build what you just thought about as putting an elevated structure and concrete and that heavy system right through the middle of the Strip, you really are impacting, negative or positive, depending on your view, the experience that draws most people here. So how do you move a lot of people? How do you have a great experience? How do you preserve the Strip experience that you know and love today? And how do you do so in a way that doesn't interrupt any of the businesses on the Strip? When you start to think about those things, you have to embrace the idea that something might happen underground, perhaps the Las Vegas underground, that can address all of those issues without negatively impacting what we have going on, which is the heart and soul of our economy.
But if we go even for a subway, you're still going to have areas closed off for construction. There's still going to be an interruption. No matter what you do on that Strip, you're going to have some form of interruption at various times, all up and down the Strip, and even all the way to downtown if that's where you're going. So what do you do? Do you do something, again, that is going to be hidden away eventually, where I don't think would provide a very beautiful experience, or do you add to what we have here and make it a little bit different? Because when Disneyland was built, by the way, they didn't have the monorail originally, and they did build it afterwards, and it didn't take away from Mickey and Minnie and all the rest of the stuff.
One of the fun things about this effort at this point is, these are draft recommendations. These are the recommendations that the committee wants to explore farther. But the conversation's not over yet. There's still a lot to be vetted in terms of the engineering, in terms of the financial plan. And actually, the next phase of this plan effort is to come up with what we call the business plan associated with these. For each one of the recommendations, we need to talk about what are the potential funding sources. And each one of the recommendations has a different pot of money or a different menu, a different a la carte menu that you have to select from in order to fund it. And we may learn that there are still other alternatives that the community wants to explore. And the Allen Stock idea may be one of them.
I think that people would, again, pay to go on this monorail idea, this elevated monorail, as a ride, like a Disneyland ride, an experience. And I think that would help in some ways, pay for some portion of it, not a lot, but some of it, because as opposed to people just going on it to go from point A to point B because they just got to town and they want to get over to the Trop, or they want to get over to the Venetian or whatever.
I do have to share with you, we have double-decker buses on the resort corridor, and people actually do ride the bus, not necessarily to get from here to there, but to experience the corridor.
That is exactly my point, Tina. Exactly. Let's take a quick call from Patty. Patty, good morning. You're on KDON. Welcome to the show. Patty? Patty was there. Patty's driving up down the Strip, probably checking it out to see what's worth it.
I want to share a little factoid with you as well. Certainly, whatever it is that we do is going to be expensive, but I have to share with you that Las Vegas corridor, in terms of a public transit system, is the only system in the United States that makes money. Generally, transit systems are subsidized. That is the only corridor that makes money because people do enjoy the experience of traveling up and down.
Yeah, people like seeing the lights at nighttime. I mean, you don't go up to the Foundation Room at night and watch as the sun goes down. You've all been to the Foundation Room, and probably sunset. As the sun goes down and the lights go up on the Strip, and that view, that looking northward from the Foundation Room is. I think it's beautiful. A lot of people may look at forests and other trees and think it's beautiful. I think that view of all the lights is absolutely gorgeous. And you know what? Everyone I've ever taken up there says the same thing. And you're right. People will, I think, they take those double-deck buses just to get a view. Wow, look at this. There's the Bellagio fountain. Look at this. Or, people get off on this.
Sure. With mass transit, one of the goals of it is to move people efficiently and quickly from where they are to where they need to go. The idea of the light rail underground, one of the things we talked about is that you said that a subway can be a very stark, or we call it an institutional experience. We think that possibly these stations are the opportunity for, if the resorts wanted to actually create your Las Vegas experience starting at the landing point of those subway stations. So bringing the resort experience right down and greeting the passengers there at those stations as they surface.
I'll tell you my concern, and we've got a lot of time before we go on the break, and then we come on back and let you respond. One of my concerns is that the subway systems in the country, New York, a great example, there are problems, and there are problems with people being attacked and things like that, and I think that would be less of a concern if it was out in the open. It was an elevated something where people could see you, and it was, as the word we use today is transparent, so everybody could see what was going on. I think that would be less of a concern.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Look, I don't disagree with that, but at the end of the day, we have to understand that we're talking about 41.1 million visitors coming here every year. They're not the same, right? I mean, we have visitors. One of the principal problems we're dealing with is the fact that we have these citywide conventions, these huge trade shows. We're number one in the entire world relative to this, and those folks need to be able to get from convention center to convention center, from the convention center to their hotel room or back to the airport. Their transportation patterns are much different. The people that are coming here for EDC or Rock in Rio or those type of things are much different than what those other ones are. And by developing this alternative transportation mode, we're going to open up better experiences for pedestrians walking along the Strip, better experience driving along Las Vegas Strip.
Listen, I agree with everything you said. Everything you said. I'm just concerned that people are going to see something stark beneath the roadway as opposed to the lights and the glitz above it. We'll come on back in a moment and continue our discussion. 257 KDWN 257-5396. talking about transportation on the Strip. Your ideas coming up next on News Talk 720 KDWN, KDON.
AM 720 KDWN, Las Vegas, a Beasley Media Group station.
KDWN News Time 7:30. Good morning. I'm John Schaefer with this half hour's top stories. Accident investigators say the engineer driving an Amtrak train wasn't using his cell phone in the moments before the train derailed in Philadelphia last month, and that deepens the mystery of what caused the accident. 8 people were killed, about 200 more injured in the May 12th derailment. The agency also said the engineer, Brandon Bastian, didn't access the train's Wi-Fi system while he was operating the locomotive. A white police officer seen on video pushing a black girl to the ground at a North Texas pool party has resigned from the police force.
The actions of Case Bolt, as seen on the video of the disturbance at the community pool, are indefensible.
McKinney's police chief Greg Conley says Officer Eric Casebolt was, quote, out of control when he arrived at the scene. The video also shows Casebolt pointing his gun at other black teens. The Obama administration could announce today that it'll be sending up to 500 additional U.S. troops to Iraq to train security forces. The U.S. is trying to get Sunnis more deeply involved in the war against the Islamic State group. Right now, there are fewer than 3,100 U.S. troops in Iraq. That includes trainers, advisors, security, and other logistical personnel. Nevada utility regulators are set to rule that a Las Vegas tech company can't sever its ties with the main power supplier in the state, NV Energy. A draft ruling posted by the Nevada Public Utilities Commission ahead of a vote today suggests the 3-member panel will ban Switch from going it alone to produce and buy power. That decision likely to have a ripple effect because several large Las Vegas Strip casino companies have also applied to withdraw from the public energy grid. Well, it's one way to get out of jury duty. A man in Vermont showed up in court wearing a prisoner costume, a black and white striped jumpsuit with a matching beanie. James Lowe joined other prospective jurors, but was sent to an empty courtroom to meet with the judge, who told him to leave. Lowe says the juror instructions don't restrict clothing, but the judge told him he could have been found in contempt. News brought to you by MyCleanPC.com. Activate MyCleanPC software to clean out the junk that may be slowing down your computer. Increase your computer speed today with MyCleanPC.com. KDWN News Time 7:32. Let's check in again with John Sanchez at Sanchez Wealth Management. Check on our local stocks. John, that rumor mill has been churning about a proposed merger between Wynn Resorts and MGM Resorts International. Even though both companies have denied those rumors, do rumors like that affect stocks?
Oh, absolutely, John. That rumor started, I believe it was last Thursday on Jim Cramer's TheStreet.com. He made some comments about it. And then, of course, the investing community came out a few days later, or actually later that day, as well as the next morning, saying it's unfounded and both companies denying the rumor. But yeah, we saw, I think it was about a 7% pop, if I remember correctly, in Wynn stock on that news. And then, then it started to subside and things got back to normal. But yeah,
then
absolutely.
Macau came back into the picture.
Then Macau came back into the picture, exactly. And that's, of course, what we in the investing community look at is, what are the revenue sources? Are we getting growth, which we're not really in the Macau area? The first part of June has been a tough go for the casino operators in Macau. So, yeah, it was all in the rumor mill, and he's getting a lot of criticism for that because supposedly unsubstantiated. No one can find any valid reason why Cramer would have made those comments. But they did get a pop on the stock, and I'm sure, usually what we see happen, something like that, the regulators begin to look into it because he is a shareholder, I believe, of Wynn Resort. So, yeah, that's the world that we're in right now, but completely unsubstantiated at this, at least at this point. Never know what can happen, of course. Good strength on the market, though, John. 160 points on the Dow, 17,923, a 0.90% gain. NASDAQ up 41.81% at 5,054. 17-point increase on the S&P 500, 0.81% at a trade level of 2,097. Apple, a $1.37 rise at 128.79 a share. The major financials doing well. 1.23% gain on Bank of America at 17.52. Wells Fargo higher by 1.08% to 57.31. Let's get to the gaming stocks. We'll start off with MGM, which is on the upside by a mere 10 10 cents, a 0.5% gain at 19.45. Wynn is one of the few down this morning. It's actually down 44 cents at $101.84. And let's see, one mentioned Las Vegas Sands, a 25-cent gain to 52.18. Home builders look good. I'll pick one of those, D.R. Horton, for you. 1.59% gain of 41 cents to 26.20. Dow's up 168. NASDAQ gaining 45. S&P higher by 18. I'll be back in 30 minutes for Gold, Oil, and Bonds. From the Office of Sanchez Wealth Management, I'm John Sanchez for News Talk 720 KDWN.
Thank you, John. The Market Report brought to you by Sahara Coins and Precious Metals. With the largest selection of gold and silver bullion, coins, and precious metals, visit Sahara Coins online at saharacoins.com or in store at Sahara and Tenaya. It's 7:34. Here's Mitch Kelly with the latest from the KDON 1 Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center.
HB still clearing a crash 15 southbound between Charleston and Sahara. It's on the right shoulder, but still solid delays back to Lake Mead. Minor 115 northbound at Washington, not causing any delay. Seeing some struggles on 95 southbound now coming down from the northwest from before Cheyenne past Lake Mead. Then again, hard braking through the Spaghetti Bowl. Same story being seen now on 95 north through downtown and 215 east between South Buffalo and Jones. From the KDON 1 Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center, it's Mitch Kelly on News Talk 720 KDWN.
I'm News 3 meteorologist Jerry Brown. A mix of sun and clouds today. Still a bit humid with afternoon highs in the low to mid-90s, turning breezy later this afternoon with a 20% chance of thunderstorms. News 3, your weather authority. Weather updates throughout the day.
Mostly cloudy, 75 in Las Vegas. Your next update at 8 o'clock or when news breaks. I'm John Schaefer, News Talk 720 KDWN.
Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey presents Circus Extreme. Get ready to experience extreme family fun like never before in an all-new exhilarating circus extravaganza you must see to believe. And America's most extraordinary live family entertainment experience, the greatest show on earth. Kids tickets are $10. Restrictions and charges apply. Playing this Thursday through Sunday at Thomas and Mack Center. Get your tickets today at UNLV Tickets.
Remember Old Vegas, where the golf courses were right outside your door? The Casablanca in Mesquite is just like Vegas used to be. Now, at bookmesquitegolf.com, you can build your own room and golf getaway starting at $100. Mesquite Golf packages draw golfers from all over the country to play on scenic and challenging courses. Stay in a deluxe tower room and choose from 6 golf courses within a 6-minute drive from the Casablanca Resort and Spa. Build your own golf getaway at bookmesquitegolf.com. Choose from 6 unique and challenging courses for every golfer. Find the course to match your skill level. The Palms, Falcon Ridge, Conestoga, Oasis Palmer, Oasis Canyons, or Casablanca Golf Club. So pack your clubs and reserve a tee time. Go to bookmesquitegolf.com and customize your perfect golf getaway at the Casablanca Resort and Spa. Stay at the Casablanca Resort and Spa. It's just like Vegas used to be.
This is your life. Joe Grande for the lap band procedure from O-Band Centers.
Hey, it's Joe Grande. Unfortunately, I lost both my parents when they were young because they were extremely overweight and had complications from diabetes. I was diagnosed with diabetes over 5 years ago, so I looked around at different weight loss programs and I decided on O-Band. O-Band is a 1-hour outpatient lap band method, and their nationally recognized surgeons at O-Band have performed thousands of weight loss procedures, plus the results have been outstanding. At O-Band, they're experts in the whole process, from helping you get qualified with your insurance company to making sure you have the right tools to keep healthy and fit. No more diabetes. I lost over 100 pounds. I'm completely healthy, and hey, I think I look pretty good. Do yourself a favor. Call O-Band.
If our doctors agree that you qualify, your PPO insurance should pay. 702-720-6000. That's 702-720-6000. Or visit obandcenters.com. obandcenters.com. 702-720-6000.
If you have Medicare, Walgreens has good news. Because with the new Balanced Rewards, it's easier than ever to earn points, even with Medicare. Now, you'll get points for every prescription and immunization every day. And more points mean more rewards. To see all the new ways to earn points and get rewards, simply visit walgreens.com/morepoints. Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy.
Points can't be earned in New York, New Jersey, or Arkansas. Other restrictions apply. For details, visit walgreens.com/balance.
If you are living with a painful bunion, local doctors may be able to help. You may qualify to have your bunion surgically removed at no cost as part of a research study testing an investigational pain medication. If qualified, you'll receive the study medication or placebo plus all study-related procedures, including a 3-night clinic stay, at no cost. You may also receive compensation for your time and travel. Call 702-802-0991 or visit healthcentral.com/bunions to learn more about this research study and see if it's right for you. Again, for a limited time, you may qualify to have your bunions surgically removed and receive a 3-night clinic stay all at no cost. Call Gene Brown Research 702-802-0991 or visit healthcentral.com/bunions right now to learn more. That number again, 702-802-0991. That's 702-802-0991 or visit healthcentral.com/bunions.
Moving. 7:39 News Talk 720 KDWN. I'm Alan Stock, and I want to thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday morning. I'll be out at the Metro Chamber of Commerce Expo from 2 to 5 this afternoon out at Cashman Center. So please plan to come on out. If you're a business, you want to meet other people, it's a great chance to network with other businesses, discover new products and services, get your business known or get into a business. And you can do all that, find out about that at least at the Expo today at Cashman Center. And I'll be out there from 2 to 5. Tomorrow, Kimberly Guilfoyle from the 5 will be with us to talk about a new book, and Kevin Richards will have our tech news as well. We're talking about the future of transportation solutions on the famed Las Vegas Strip. And joining me here, Jeremy Aguero, economist with Applied Analysis, Tina Quigley, the general manager of RTC, and Greg Gilbert, the general counsel for RTC, and I appreciate you all being here. I know one of the considerations you might, by the way, if you have ideas what you would like to see on the Strip, we're talking about possibly of a subway, we're talking about the possibility of an elevated monorail that would be an e-ticket ride, in my opinion. I go back to my Disney days. And what other opportunities do you see for the Strip? 257 KDWN 257-5396. One of the considerations I know is the idea of how to get employees on the Strip, transported from one area to the other. Yes?
Yes. It's part of this plan, this study. As we dive into the numbers, we learned that during shift changes, there is a significant percentage of the vehicular traffic within the resort corridor is employee generated. Our indications show possibly 30% of the traffic, vehicular traffic within the resort corridor.
Do you mean the Strip itself?
Not just the Strip, but the parallel roads as well.
Right, okay.
So that has to be part of the plan. We have to be giving some consideration to how are we going to move people from where they live to where they work as efficiently as possible. As residents, our quality of life, our time spent on the road, determines our quality of life. So doing what we can to make sure we're removing vehicles and allowing employees to move as expeditiously as possible between where they live and where they work. To that extent, we've this part of this plan gives some consideration to park and ride facilities, to additional bus transit, to possibly in the future light rail as well, connecting along our east-west corridors, moving people from where they live to where they work, and then tying into the resort corridor. So Tropicana, Flamingo, Sahara, Charleston, those types of east-west movements, again, moving people from where they live to where they work.
Well, right now, I know I don't work for a resort, never have, but I understand that what people do when they work there is they do park a bit away from the resort, and then they do have little shuttle buses or trucks or something like that taking them to where they work. Is that correct? Am I right or wrong?
It depends on the resort.
Yeah.
It depends on the specific resort. There's many resorts that have parking garages and those type of things that are adjacent to the facility, which is frankly a relatively inefficient use of property in and around the Las Vegas Strip, to be clear. So certainly something we want to consider. But there's not one standard way that all employees somehow get to where they work on the Strip.
Do you think, by the way, as an economist, do you think that that it's going to be an easy sell because we need to do this, or do you think, Jeremy, it's going to be a hard sell for people to reach into their pockets? I mean, all the battle that went up on Carson City this last year about taxes and, we repeal taxes and all that stuff.
Sure. Look, the question is what it is. If you're asking me whether it's a difficult sell to talk about transportation and make some of the near-term changes, whether those are policy things, connecting roads that need to be connected, making things one-way versus two-way so that we can move people more, fixing the pedestrian flows along the Las Vegas Strip, I think that's a very easy sell, even if there is a cost associated associated with it, those are kind of no-brainer things that we absolutely have to do. If you're talking about some of the longer-term issues, no, those are things that we're going to have, as Tina said earlier. I mean, this is about developing a plan. It's been data-driven since day one. That's been the mandate from the Regional Transportation Commission in terms of this entire plan. And at the end, we've got to develop a business plan that is fiscally responsible, that shows the return on the investment. Every person that gets on, every visitor that comes to Las Vegas spends about $700. How many of them have to stop coming in order for something like this to pay for itself? Those are the questions we have to answer. And whether it's the capital stack that goes into, this transportation solution versus that transportation solution, whether it's federal dollars or state dollars or some type of local dollars, it has to result in a return on investment that means more jobs, more wages and salaries, and more economic output for our core industry, period.
I agree with everything you said. I can't argue with one thing. You're absolutely right. 257-KWN, 257-5396. And that's why I'm glad we're having this conversation. 257-KWN. I know calls are there. We're going to get to you in just a few moments. But first, let's head on over to Mitch Kelly in the KDON, One Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center.
At 744, NHB still clearing a crash 15 southbound between Charleston and Sahara. It's on the right shoulder, but delays start all the way back at Lake Mead. Minor 115 northbound at Washington not causing delay. 95 south, still some volume from before Cheyenne past Lake Mead and now South Rancho through the Spaghetti Bowl. Same story being seen on 95 north as you head around the Charleston curve, on and off slowing through downtown. Southern Beltway eastbound from South Durango to Jones. Hearing of a new Northern Beltway accident. It's going to be on the westbound side of 215 between Sky Point Drive and US 95. While on the surface streets, new east side crash with injuries. Desert Inn at Mountain Vista. Your next update's at 8. And from the KDON One Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center, it's Mitch Kelly on News Talk 720 KDWN.
You think traffic can be frustrating? What about trying to sell your home, especially now? It's coming up the summertime. It's going to be hot. You've got to be able to move, find a new place. Maybe you got a new place, and you've got to get kids enrolled in school, but you got to sell your house. You don't want that frustration, right? So you go to Rick and Terry Brankus of the Keller Williams Realty, the marketplace, to get them to sell your home. These are the people who have an amazing marketing system. I've personally walked through and met with Rick and Terry, and I've seen the system they have, and they will get your home sold fast and for a top dollar. There's a reason that they rank 30th out of 1.3 million realtors in the United States. That's pretty impressive if you ask me. Now, Carol Ann went straight to Rick and Terry Brankus to sell her home on Schuster Street. They got her home sold for $525,000. Now, that was $25,000 over the asking price. The deal is that Rick and Terry are doing what no one else will do. They have a home sale guarantee. They'll sit down with you. They'll guarantee you a price and a deadline. If the deadline passes, the home isn't sold, they will buy your home. Call the only agent I would call if I had to sell my home. Call Rick and Terry today at 456-5959, 456-5959, or go online to thebrankusteam.com. That's the BRENKUS team.com, and you'll start packing today.
Your morning cup of Sean. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
All right, so the president admitted this week his administration still does not have a complete strategy against ISIS. Basically, no change in 10 months.
When a finalized plan is presented to me by the Pentagon, then I will share it with the American people. It's not, we don't yet have a complete strategy because it requires commitments on the part of the Iraqis as well.
Now, the president said this, that he and his coalition partners, they began their pinprick airstrike campaign that was going to degrade and destroy ISIS. Well, it's not succeeding, and we know why, because we don't have a strategy to train the Iraqi forces and provide intelligence, much less degrade and destroy ISIS. Pretty unbelievable, this level of incompetence. Would you argue that this is good for America? This is good for our allies? I don't think so.
The conservative underground meets later today on the Sean Hannity Show.
And now another golf confessional brought to you by Golfsmith. A man told his wife he only wanted a nice card this Father's Day, so she went to Golfsmith and got the new tailor-made AeroBurner iron set and a free $100 gift card. He was overwhelmed by the thoughtfulness of the card and couldn't really blame her for keeping the irons for herself. Hurry into Golfsmith from now until June 28th and get a free gift card of up to $100 when you purchase a new tailor-made AeroBurner club. Golfsmith, anything for golf.
You're running your business, and we at Wix.com know things can get stressful. But creating your website doesn't have to be. With Wix, you can create a professional website all by yourself. It's easy and free. You don't have to be a programmer. Just drag and drop everything into place. It's your website, your style. Show the world what you can do. Go to Wix.com and create your own stunning website today. It's easy and free.
Need a way to consolidate debt or pay for major expenses? With the security of fixed-rate payments and potential tax advantages, a One Nevada home equity loan or home equity line of credit may be perfect for you. Get a rate quote today at onenevada.org or call 702-457-1000. One Nevada is open to all Clark County and Pahrump residents. Federally insured by the NCUA Equal Opportunity Lender.
Bone cracking chiropractic? It doesn't have to be that way. Dr. Devin Lazard uses the gentle and safe NUCA chiropractic technique. Use it to relieve headaches, lower back pain, neck pain, arthritis, and more. Hey, it's Chad from Live in Las Vegas. Join Dave and I this Friday as we do our show from 8 to 10 a.m. at Dr. Devin Lazard's Southwest office at 8910 West Tropicana, just east of the 215. Be one of the first 20 callers right now at 702-944-HOPE and get your first treatment for just $37. That's 702-944-HOPE. Call now.
Yeah. 750 at News Talk 720 KDWN. I'm Alan Stockton. I want to thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday morning. Coming up at 8, live Las Vegas with Chad Forrester and Dave Carney, broadcasting from downtown, from Container Park, as a matter of fact, the Cox studio down there that we have. Joining me in studio to talk about the future of transportation solutions on the Las Vegas Strip, I have Jeremy Aguero, economist with Applied Analysis. Tina Quigley is the general manager of RTC, and Greg Gilbert is the general counsel for the RTC. And I appreciate you all being here. 257 KDWN 257-5396. It's an important discussion to have, and we'll get back to how you can become more involved in the discussion in just a moment. But Bob, you're on KDON. Welcome to the show, Bob.
Yes, how are you doing, Alan?
Okay, Bob, go right ahead.
I've been around here almost 30-some years, and I think we're getting more and more earthquake activity, and there's a fault runs right down the middle of that strip. That would probably be my only concern about the whole thing.
All right, hold on a second. So talk to us about that, Greg.
Yeah, I think right now when we're talking about underground light rail, we're talking about it at a programmatic and alignment level. We're not talking about the final design of that system. I think we would expect that all final designs and the construction of that system would contemplate all types of things, including but not limited to the earthquakes and the potential for movement below ground.
So I think it's a great idea.
Like other cities,
I know we really need it, but my concern is that with all that hammering, and we could sure open Pandora's box on that one, but I'd sure do some very serious research.
I think that they will probably do a lot more research than you can imagine. Appreciate your call, Bob. Thank you very much. You know, the way you're talking, it sounds like you guys have kind of made up your mind about a subway versus any other...
Light rail, underground light rail.
They say subway. Okay. Right. Underground light rail more than anything else. Am I wrong?
That has definitely generated the most amount of conversation, that because it's such a big lift, it's such a big idea. But there's actually a lot that's part of this plan that is smaller and not as heavy of a lift, but that certainly will have significant impact as to how people move as well. And you want to
I would say that the draft recommendations right now, and the conversation includes a lot of different things, everything from changing policies to making sure that people are using these fixed assets in the most responsible way. The reality is there's only one Las Vegas Strip, and a lot of people want to get in and out of it all the time. And figuring out how to make sure that people use those things the right way for their most efficient purposes is really infused into these recommendations.
What other ideas were brought up besides this underground light rail? I mean, did anybody talk about an above-ground monorail like I was talking about or not?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the answer to your question is yes. As a matter of fact, there were several meetings with people from around the community talking about these ideas. I mean, and some of them were pretty wild. I mean, we've had conversations about an urban gondola, right? That is, if you can imagine what that would be like, going essentially over the Strip. I mean, you want to talk about doing it. And there are places that are doing it. Places like Seattle, New York have
an urban gondola. I'm trying to picture that.
Imagine a gondola, right? Yeah. The idea of a gondola going above all of the Strip, right? You'd have that. We had conversations about something called a straddle bus. You can imagine what this would look like. Imagine essentially an apparatus, if you will, that straddled all the way across the top of the Strip and as like a platform that would essentially move up and down the Strip. I mean, these are things that are conceptual.
Allowing vehicles to travel underneath of it. It was.
Well, that's what I'm suggesting with the monorail, but that's what you're saying. This would be at the top of the buildings.
No, the urban gondola, of course, would be high, like a gondola that you'd imagine.
And the other one you're talking?
The straddle bus would essentially straddle across the strip, just as imagine an elevated layer right above where the cars are going through. Now, again, that's something of a less tested technology. It's something that's an idea only in that particular regard. And so, there was a general belief that going with tried and tested and true technologies, something that, we would love to be the first to do something, but we also want to make sure that it's something that will ultimately work and can deliver. Again, there were many things that went through the filter. What we're talking about in terms of the 20 or 30 recommendations on all of those levels are the things that filtered out as the ones that we believe, based on the data that we looked at, based on our understanding, based on the feedback that we got from many people in the community, be the ones that would have the greatest propensity to work and to have the greatest return on investment.
But you were not looking necessarily at something based upon the cost as much as you were the efficiency.
As a matter of fact, it was exactly the opposite of that. When Rossi first brought everybody into the room, Rossi Rollencotter from the LVCVA, brought everybody in the room, that very first meeting that we had as a steering committee was, it's time to think big. It's time to think long term. Everything needs to be on the table as part of the discussion. We will filter back from that, but let's bring everybody from the cab drivers to the people that operate McCarran to the people that operate RTC and all the jurisdictions, the stakeholders along the strip, and let's have the conversation about how we could potentially move people, what our economy needs to be, not what it is today. That's how the conversation got started. And essentially, we started whittling back from the ideas that were perhaps overly aggressive.
But Alan, one of the things we really appreciate about you inviting us to be here today and anybody else who wants to have the conversation is that we are having the conversation. And I think as a community, that is the biggest thing that could come out of this effort is the fact we're starting to talk about what are we in the future? What is Vegas 2.0? And collectively, let's make some of the best decisions that we can for our future.
Well, I agree with all that, and I think what you've all said, the only issue I had about the subway was the idea when you go from Terminal 3, like to the D gate, and you get in the little jitney thing that they have there, I mean, when you go through the little tunnel, there's nothing on the other side until you get to the other end. It's like, it's just a dark, dank, nothing, and it's not an experience. It's just a quick transportation, but it's very quick, too. It just takes you from Terminal 3 to the D gate, and you're there, and it happens in about 40 seconds or so. But the other way is to be able to get something so you could actually have people use it as an event, as an e-ticket ride, and people to pay money. I would pay money just to go on and go up and down the strip and go to downtown like that. Parking was plentiful south of the Mandalay Bay.
Yeah, look, there's no doubt about it. I mean, your point is well taken and a good one. I mean, we had a lot of conversations about that iconic transportation experience. That's something that would be uniquely Vegas, and I think that will continue to be part of the conversation as we go through.
And I think what you're doing by getting this going, I mean, I'm very happy to be a part of it, but I'm happy that you guys have started this, and Rossi Rollencotter also getting this whole thing going because it said somewhere in one of the articles that we put this off a long time. It should have been done like 20 years ago, but and we can't wait 20 more years to get it going. So if we're talking about getting it going as soon as possible, Jeremy, how soon do you think we could actually get something, break ground on something like this?
Well, look, I mean, there's portions of it that are already happening today. Right? I mean, we're talking about getting folks together when major conventions are in town, as Tina talked about earlier on. I had a conversation with one of the taxi cab folks that says for the first time ever, we are all sitting in the room and understanding what everybody's going to do so that we can move people more efficiently. That's already happening today. Being able to get more efficiency out of the existing assets that we have, that is a near-term, next couple of years, actually maximizing the utility. If we look at all of the projects that are going on in our community today, I don't think you can look at the RTC and say they're not deploying the capital that they have to increase the efficiency. I mean, they've done a pretty remarkable job at that. When you're talking longer term, things like going underground and tunneling, you're talking 10 to 15 years out. We have to do all kinds of studies relative to the environmental issues. It was brought up by your caller. Those things have to be studied extensively. And to your point, if we don't start that discussion today, 20 years from now, we'll be starting over and talking about what we're going to do 10 or 15 years from now.
No, I would like to have the system in place within 20 years. So I'm with you all on that. I appreciate you coming by. Quickly, Tina, if people want to get involved and find out more about it, how can they do it?
They can go to our website, which is www.rtcsnv.com. And if they want to contribute to the conversation, leave a comment. Greatly appreciated.
Okay, great. I appreciate you all coming in, and we're going to continue this conversation for a long time, and hopefully within 20 years, well, I'll bring come in my walker, and we'll all be here, and we'll see. Wow, how cool that it's actually happened. Jeremy Aguero, Tina Quigley, and Greg Gilbert, thank you all for coming in. I do appreciate it very much, and again, good luck with the whole system. I'm part of it. I just love this whole idea. Come in a few moments. Live Las Vegas with Chad Forrester and Dave Carney, broadcasting from downtown from the Container Park. Bucket Strategy investing at 10. Sean Hannity at noon. Jerry Doyle at 3. The John Burnett Show at 6. Tomorrow, before I come on at 5, it's America's Morning News from 2 to 5. Great show I listen to every day, and we'll be back tomorrow. I've got Kimberly Guilfoyle from The 5 from Fox News Channel. We'll be here talking about her new book, and Kevin Richards with our tech news. I'm Alan Stock. Have a great day. Drive carefully and always keep on thinking free.
AM 720 KDWN, Las Vegas.